One day, a student asked the great Zen master, "Master, what is the secret to a happy life?" The master smiled and replied, "Let me tell you a story." He began, "Imagine you are walking through the forest when suddenly you are struck by an arrow. It pierces your body, causing great pain and suffering. Now imagine that, while still suffering from the first arrow, you are struck by a second one. The second arrow causes even more pain and distress. Now, let me ask you, which of the two arrows causes more suffering?" The student replied, "The second arrow, of course." "The second one is even worse than the first." The master nodded and continued, "Exactly. The first arrow represents the difficulties and challenges that life inevitably brings us. Suffering is a part of life, something we cannot avoid. But the second arrow represents our response to that suffering, our worry, our anger, our attachment to how things should be. It is this second arrow that causes us to suffer even more than we need to." The master looked at the student and said, "To live a happy life, we must learn to avoid the second arrow. Life will always bring challenges, pain, and loss, but it is our reaction to those challenges that determines our suffering. If we can accept what comes with an open heart and a peaceful mind, without adding unnecessary suffering through attachment or resistance, we can find true peace and happiness." This story highlights a simple yet profound truth. While we cannot avoid the difficulties that life presents, we can choose how we respond to them. By not adding extra suffering to our lives through worry or resistance, we create the space for peace, acceptance, and happiness to flow naturally. It teaches us to live in the present moment, to accept things as they are, and to cultivate mindfulness and compassion, keys to living a life that is more joyful and at ease.